All you Suburban fans out there, today we're going to replace the blower motor resistor in a 99 Suburban. What you really need is your blower motor resistor and a socket wrench. Unfortunately, I did not have a quarter inch, so I had to use an adapter from my 3/8 inch, and then put the 7mm socket on, because all the screws that we're going to take out will be 7mm. Problem is that makes it, once you put all that together, makes it really tall, and it was too tall to get into some of the tight spaces. So you'll see for one or two of the screws, just to get them started, to back them out, I use this really tiny adjustable wrench, and then this angled 7mm also worked pretty well. That helped out. That's all you'll need. So the first thing you need to do is take off the glove box. And oh, there's a speaker. Sweet. Okay. So you can take everything out if you want, or leave it, but you'll see right down here is a little clip that's holding the glove box to keep it from opening up. And so you just need to pull that for a little bit. You might need a screwdriver to help you pop it out of there. I should get a cameraman. There you go. That'll help it open up, and then you just squeeze the sides together like this to get them away from that, and they'll let it fall out of place. Comes down, you just kind of pull it and unhook it, and you can see up inside there. And as you look in the glove box to the left there, you'll see this nut, this bolt, 7mm. You probably don't need the extension on the ratchet, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that just to give myself a little more play. And I'll get back to you as soon as I take off that bolt. Now that that nut's off, if you look even further back where the light's shining behind it, you'll see another bolt. You'll need to use that same 7mm to get that off. Way back in the very back, sticking up there. So that bolt back there is really tight. It's hard to get off because there's not much room. So I was able to get mine just a little bit loose, and that let me then reach in and grab this relay housing and kind of just wiggle it and pull it towards me out of the way. That'll give us a little more room to work on that nut back there, which is actually holding down the blower motor resistor. So what I noticed is once I got the reducer onto the socket to get that little tiny 7mm socket on, it was too tall to be able to get into that tight space under there. So I ended up grabbing this super tiny adjustable wrench here, and that my grandpa used to use, so it looks like he bailed me out again this time. And what I went ahead and did is took the first nut that we took off, this one here that was towards the front, and I put that in there and adjusted it to make sure it's just the exact right fit. That way, since you can only get about one hand up in there, you'll be able to slide onto that and start turning it. You can see the bolt on the left side of that plug is gone, and if you follow the light over to the right, there's another little bolt right back there. That's the one we're going to take off right there, that one. Okay, you can see that screw is off. I kept calling them bolts, but they're really screws, I guess. That one's off the right side there, and you can see that that whole motor blower, the blower motor resistor is popping up already. I was able to actually use the normal ratchet wrench. It had enough room on this side, so it was a lot easier for that one. So we'll just take this, pull it up, rotate it around to where we can take off the plug here. So that was a pretty good hassle trying to get that out of there. I had to rotate it to this position so I could get my left hand up over it to pull the little clip up that's on the side of the resistor here, and then grab it with my right hand and just pull towards me with it, and I ended up popping it back with my right hand get that plug out, and that's where that little clip was up there. So we had to pull up. There's a little clip on the side of that. So we pulled that clip up and then pulled this back away from it. And then we can put the new one on it. Have our lovely new part. Comes with the gasket. It's a lot more shiny. That should do the job. We'll get that gasket on nicely and then pop it onto that clip there. So as you can see, as I'm trying to slide that in there, there's like really not enough space for it. The other one I pulled out, it bent a little. So I'm just going to try to get as close as I can and push and hope it doesn't bend too much. And so let's hope for the best. We'll see what happens. She's down in there, and I don't think too much got bent in the process. I ended up having to kind of slide it like flat like this back up in there and then pop it down, and then we can get the screws on or back in those two little holes on the side, and then get the plug back in the top there. You can see on the right side there we've got that nut screw tightened down pretty hard, and then that one's getting there. I'm keeping this out of the way, this relay, so we can actually get to that. And for putting them back on, I ended up using one of these guys. That gave me, but I had to cut off the end because that was popping up too high. Okay, so you'll want to leave just a little gap under that screw there. See a little tiny gap right there, so that you could fit that clip under it. And then once we get that clip under it, then you can take this front part and move it over that and put your screw in there. That was the first screw that we took out. You can see we have that clip under there, and then we line that up in this hole, and so we can take our other screw, which I just put in the little cup holder so I don't lose anything, and putting it right in there. There we are, all tightened down in the back, the front, and on that side. Now all we need to do is put the glove compartment back on. Don't forget this little strap that holds it in place, and then we'll see if it works. There's two hooks on. Going to put the little cable back in place here on the side. And shut. Let's get the turned on. We have low, medium, medium high, and high. That did it.